Now, talking about the nominal GDP and the real GDP. So, what happens in nominal GDP is that the GDP is not adjusted for inflation. The GDP is not adjusted for inflation in the nominal GDP, whereas what happens in real GDP is that the number of GDP are adjusted for inflation. So, the nominal GDP is good for the current market analysis, whereas the real GDP is better for comparing growth over the period of time. So this is what the basic difference is between the nominal GDP as well as the real GDP. So India, with a nominal GDP of 4.9 trillion US dollars, has surpassed Japan to become the largest economy. Now, let us see the important data that can be used in your mains answer writing to corroborate the fact that India has become the fourth largest economy. Now, the first point is that the India is the world's fastest growing major economy, with the real GDP growth at 6.5% and nominal GDP that has tripled from 106.5 lakh crore to 331 lakh crore. So this figure you can quote. You can quote the real GDP ka data, that is 6.5%. And because this data is very much authentic because it has been quoted on the PIB website. I have taken this data from the PIB website. Next is that India is projected to be the world's fastest growing major economy, ranging the GDP growth ranging from 6.3% to 6.8% in the year 2025-26. Also, the total exports of India has increased by 76% over the last decade. This point is very much important. Okay. Now, ये point आप directly contrary कर सकते हो on the Trump's remark. Recently, Trump gave a remark on the Indian economy that Indian economy is a dead economy. Okay. So, this fact or the thing that Trump has said is absolutely wrong, is absolutely baseless, because we have seen a 76% export increase over the last decade, and within this 76% of total exports, the defense exports play a very much important role. We have seen in the past year Philippines को हमने ब्रह्मोस मिसाइल दिया था, and recently a deal is being signed with the Armenian government to export the Akash missiles. ठीक है, Akash is a missile that is being exported to the Armenian government. So the defense export has also increased many folds. Okay. Now, the total exports that have increased is led by the engineering goods, electronics, and pharmaceuticals. Next is the services export had more than doubled. As we know that the contribution of the service sector to the GDP is very much, despite knowing the fact that the agriculture is the primary occupation of the people living in India, because around 50% of the people of the country are indulged in the agricultural activity. Still, we know that agriculture का जो contribution है वो 20% से less है in the GDP. Despite अगर मैं service sector की बात करूं, so the number of workforce that is indulged in service sector is very much less as compared to agricultural sector. Still, it contributes on a majority basis टू द जीडीपी ऑफ इंडिया. एंड ये जो एग्रीकल्चर वाला फैक्ट है ना, कि जितना वर्कफोर्स एग्रीकल्चर में सिचुएटेड है उतना हम आउटपुट एग्रीकल्चर से जीडीपी के लिए नहीं निकाल पा रहे हैं. दिस पॉइंट कैन बी कोटेड इन द वे अहेड. ठीक है, कि वी शुड फोकस ऑन एक्सपैंडिंग द इनकम्स ऑफ द एग्रीकल्चर सेक्टर, वी प्रोवाइडिंग द सबसिस्टेंस, different subsistence methods, so that the farmers and the agricultural sector would collaborate. Okay, so the total exports has increased by 76%. The services exports has been increased more than double, growing from the 158 billions in 2013. So अभी की अगर 2024-25 की मैं बात करूं, so the services exports is around 387 billion US dollars. FDI inflows has also reached 1.05 trillion US dollars. Okay, so cumulative FDI inflows is very much important factor, in which we have seen कि insurance sector में भी जो है FDI has been increased to 100%. So all these facts can be used to corroborate your mains answer में, to corroborate the fact that Indian economy is very much fast growing economy, and it has been estimated by the Niti Aayog that by the year 2028 India will surpass Germany to become the third largest economy. In 2028 India will surpass Germany to become the third largest economy. Next is another important point is about the digital transaction surged 9x in volume. Okay, we have seen the UPI, that is Unified Payment Interface, that will see in the explanation part also be later in this video. So this UPI and the digital transaction 9x increase हुआ है इसकी volume में. Okay, accounting जिसमें 172 billion transactions alone happened in the year 2024 only. So this is a very much important point. This also you can quote in your data wala point. Talking about inflation, inflation was reduced from an average rate of 8.2% that was in 2004 to 2014 to around 5%. So inflation has also decreased, and retail inflation जो है, it also fell to 4.6%, that is lowest since the 2018 to 2019. Now, what are the key drivers? Most important part of this video. What are the key drivers that have led to India being the fourth largest economy? Now 2014 से the efforts have been going on कि कैसे हम इंडिया में सेल्फ रिलायबिलिटी एंड सेल्फ रिलायंस पे हम फोकस कर सकें, एंड ड्यू टू दैट ओनली मेक इन इंडिया वॉज लॉन्च्ड. ये तो मैं आपको बैकग्राउंड यहाँ पे प्रोवाइड कर रहा हूँ. लेटर अभी जो आगे हम पॉइंट्स देखेंगे आप फिर कनेक्ट कर पाओगे उसको बहुत ही बेटर वे में. सो मेक इन इंडिया इट वॉज लॉन्च्ड इन द ईयर 2014 कि हम इंडिया में प्रोड्यूस करेंगे एंड इंडिया में कंज्यूम करेंगे एंड सरप्लस को हम एक्सपोर्ट करेंगे. अदर देन दैट आत्मनिर्भर भारत वॉज ऑल्सो लॉन्च्ड. आत्मनिर्भर भारत वॉज ऑल्सो लॉन्च्ड विच फोकस दैट कि हम सेल्फ रिलायंट इंडिया को बनाना चाहते हैं. सो टॉकिंग अबाउट द की थिंग्स, की ड्राइवर्स ऑफ द इंडियन इकोनॉमी, सबसे पहला तो यहाँ पे आएगा हमारा द प्रोडक्शन लिंक्ड इंसेंटिव स्कीम, दैट इज द PLI स्कीम. नाउ इफ आई टॉक अबाउट दिस PLI स्कीम, इसमें एक इंपॉर्टेंट पॉइंट आपको पता होना चाहिए कि दिस इज अ स्कीम दैट फोकसेस ऑन 14 critical sectors which have been strategically chosen to enhance the country's manufacturing prowess, foster technological advancement, and elevate India's position in the global market. So what has happened in the PLI scheme is investments have been attracted worth 1.61 lakh crores. 11.5 lakh employment have been given directly and indirectly, एंड 14 लाख करोड़ का प्रोडक्शन यहाँ पे PLI स्कीम के थ्रू यहाँ पे हुआ है. एंड द प्रोडक्ट्स दैट हैव बीन प्रोड्यूस्ड थ्रू द प्रोडक्शन लिंक्ड इंसेंटिव स्कीम, इसमें एक्सपोर्ट्स है वर्थ 5.31 लाख करोड़. नाउ दिस थिंग इज प्लेइंग अ मेजर रोल इन द आत्मनिर्भर भारत प्रोग्राम दैट वाज अनाउंस्ड. ठीक है, दिस इज द फर्स्ट फैक्टर दैट वी कैन quote here. Okay, now production linked incentive schemes के बाद the second important point is the strengthening of the MSME sectors. Now MSME sectors को strengthen करने के लिए सबसे पहली स्कीम जो आई थी that was the मुद्रा scheme in 2015. Okay, इसके बाद various schemes have been launched. Now recently 2025, as of 2025, this is the latest data, 6.3 crore MSME enterprises are there, in which the MSME sector plays a vital role in employment generation, entrepreneurship, only second to agriculture, and this is an important point. मैंने आपको बताया था कि सबसे ज़्यादा वर्कफोर्स दैट इज एम्प्लॉयड इन द इंडियन इकोनॉमी ये एग्रीकल्चर सेक्टर में है. अभी अगर मैं बात करूं सेकेंड लार्जेस्ट वर्कफोर्स यहाँ पे एम्प्लॉयमेंट कौन सा सेक्टर प्रोवाइड करता है, सो दिस इज द MSME सेक्टर. एंड आप यहाँ पे उम्मीद कर सकते हैं कि वाई द इंडियन इकोनॉमी हैज बिकम द फोर्थ लार्जेस्ट इकोनॉमी. ओके, द गवर्नमेंट हैज सपोर्टेड दिस सेक्टर थ्रू वेरियस इनिशिएटिव्स focusing on credit access, technology, infrastructure, skill development, market support, including khadi, village and coir industries. Okay, so this is about the MSME sector. Third important point is about the digital payments. Now digital payments में आप तीन facts को ज़रूर quote करेंगे. The first one is the Unified Payment Interface or the UPI. Second is the IMPS service. Then there is the FASTag that is used for the toll collection in cars. ठीक है, which have made the transactions faster, safer and more accessible. अगर मैं डिजिटल पेमेंट्स की बात करूं, सो यहाँ पे डिजिटल पेमेंट्स इन द ईयर 2023-24 के अगर डाटा की मैं बात करूं, तो इसके डेटा के अकॉर्डिंग अराउंड 18,000 करोड़ का यहाँ पे ट्रांजेक्शन हुआ है थ्रू डिजिटल ट्रांजेक्शंस. ओके, सो दिस वॉल्यूम इज वेरी मच है, ये भी डेटा आप यहाँ पे नोट कर सकते हैं. नेक्स्ट इंपॉर्टेंट पॉइंट is about the internationalization of the digital payments. इसका मतलब क्या है? That जो digital payments का इंडिया का जो एक मेन यहाँ पे मेन की ड्राइवर है, that is the UPI. Now UPI is accepted as a method of transaction in many countries, and that is what is meant by the internationalization of digital payments. Because UPI is now functional in UAE, Nepal, Bhutan, Singapore, Mauritius, France, Sri Lanka. Okay, and in addition to that, अभी recently Namibia में भी UPI transactions यहाँ पे accept अब होने लगे हैं, and Namibia has become the first African country to do so. Okay. In addition to that, जो रुपे कार्ड्स हैं, that is accepted in UAE, Nepal, Bhutan, Singapore and Mauritius. So the internationalization of the digital payments is also playing a key role in this process. Next and the most important point जिसके बिना आपका आंसर incomplete होगा, that is the financial empowerment programs of the government of India. जिसमें कि सबसे पहला प्रोग्राम यहाँ पे आई हैव इंक्लूडेड 8 to 9 स्कीम्स, जिसमें कि अगर आप 4 स्कीम्स को भी कोट करते हैं, सो इट वुड बी गुड इनफ फॉर यू टू स्कोर अ हेल्दी मार्क्स इन योर एग्जामिनेशन. एंड ये सिर्फ इंडिया के जीडीपी ग्रोथ में ही नहीं, फाइनेंशियल इंक्लूजन, वल्नरेबल सेक्टर स्कीम्स, सोशल सिक्योरिटी, सोशल सर्विस, ये सारी जगह ये एग्जाम्पल्स को आप कोट कर सकते हैं. कैसे, ये मैं अभी बताता हूँ आपको. The first one is the Pradhan Mantri Jan Dhan Yojana, that is the PMJDY. Now, this scheme was launched in August 2014 and it aimed to bring the vast unbanked population into the formal financial system. Now, what happened in the Pradhan Mantri Jan Dhan Yojana is that as of April 2025, around 55.17 crore bank accounts have been opened. And this scheme was for the financial inclusion. This was for the financial inclusion. Next is the Pradhan Mantri Jeevan Jyoti Bima Yojana, that is the PMJJBY. Now, in this scheme, what happens was it is a renewable life insurance scheme in which around 23.36 crore individuals have enrolled in this scheme till now. Okay. And over 9 lakh families have been benefited from this Pradhan Mantri Jeevan Jyoti Bima Yojana. Next is the Atal Pension Yojana. Now this Atal Pension Yojana was for the unorganized sector. It was launched in the year 2015. Now what happened in this Atal Pension Yojana was a fixed amount of monthly pension was given to those who have enrolled in this scheme. Fixed amount of monthly pension was given. Okay, and as of 2025, around 48% जो रेसिपिएंट हैं स्कीम्स के वो हैं द विमेन ऑफ इंडिया. सो अगर आपको वुमेन्स से रिलेटेड यहाँ पे कोई भी क्वेश्चन पूछा जाए, वहां पे आप अटल पेंशन स्कीम को डाल के ये डेटा कोट कर सकते हो कि 48% of the recipients of the Atal Pension Yojana is now females, because women are working in large number in the unorganized sector, and ये Atal Pension Scheme was for the unorganized sector. ठीक है. Next is the Pradhan Mantri Mudra Yojana, this which I have told you for the MSMEs. ये लॉन्च हुई थी 8 अप्रैल 2015 को. and this schemes aimed at funding the unfunded micro enterprises and small businesses. ठीक है. The main idea of this theme was of not this theme, but the main idea of this scheme was collateral free loans. Collateral free loans to the MSMEs. Okay. Next is the Stand Up India scheme, and this is a very very important scheme. Okay. Stand Up India scheme बहुत important है because it has enabled the scheduled caste, scheduled tribes and women entrepreneurs to launch the greenfield enterprises by facilitating bank loans, and ये जो bank loans है these are also collateral free. ठीक है, these loans are also collateral free. Next is the PM Vishwakarma, empowering India's traditional artisans. Now, the PM Vishwakarma scheme was launched in the year 2023. Now, this aimed to support the traditional artisans, craftspeople across 18 identified trades such as blacksmith, carpenters, potters, tailors, barbers, cobblers, and others. Okay, so this is another important scheme that you can quote here. Next in the line is the PM Swanidhi scheme for empowering the street vendors with affordable credit. Now, this Swanidhi scheme was launched in the year 2020. This was launched by the Ministry of Housing and Urban Affairs on 1st June 2020 and aimed to empower the street vendors by providing hassle-free access to affordable credit and promoting their digital onboarding for economic development. Easy है, scheme is for street vendors, ये आप ध्यान रखेंगे. Next is CPSEs, that is the Central Public Sector Enterprises. These also acted as the catalyst of the India's economic transformation. What actually is a CPSE? So these are the companies in which the central government of India holds a majority stake, that is 51% or more. They play a crucial role in India's economic development, and these are spread across various crucial sectors such as energy, steel, mining, telecommunication and transportation. If you want the PDF of this, ठीक है, आप टेलीग्राम पे विजिट कर सकते हो. टेलीग्राम चैनल का लिंक डिस्क्रिप्शन में दिया होगा इस वीडियो के, वहां से you can get this PDF. Now, these are the facts that have led India to be a global torchbearer in the economic growth. Now, what are the challenges that lie ahead? First one is the inequality and regional income gaps. As the divide between the rich and the poor is widened, also the gender gap. अगर जेंडर इक्वालिटी इंडेक्स की मैं बात करूं, सो इस इंडेक्स की मैं बात करूं तो इंडिया का रैंक है 131st. सो दिस इज नीडेड टू बी टेकन केयर ऑफ. ठीक है, रूरल अर्बन सेक्टर्स में भी डिवाइड इज वेरी मच वाइडेंड. अदर देन दैट, जो मैंने आपको सबसे पहले बताया था, द एग्रीकल्चरल प्रोडक्टिविटी इज ऑल्सो ऑन द लोअर साइड. ठीक है, 16% का कंट्रीब्यूशन है, बट द जीडीपी 16% का कंट्रीब्यूशन है इन द जीडीपी, but 45% of the workforce is indulged in the agricultural sector. Next is the trade deficit due to heavy oil and electronic imports. अब trade deficit तो है ही, चाइना के साथ the trade deficit is very much high because India अपना majority oil जो है वो import करता है, USA से भी करता है, ईरान से करता है, रशिया से करता है. So that is why the dependence on the oil and the electronic imports, these have led to the trade deficit, and skilling and employment generation for a rapidly growing workforce should remain a priority. Because India के पास अगर मैं बात करूं, अभी डेमोग्राफिक डिविडेंड की मैं बात करूं, सो वर्किंग पॉपुलेशन हाईएस्ट अगर किसी कंट्री में है इन द वर्ल्ड, सो वो इंडिया के पास है. सो दैट इज वाई इट इज इंपॉर्टेंट टू डेवलप प्रॉपर स्किल्स and employments for these working population. And next is the climate change threatens the supply chain and productivity. Climate change तो एक absolutely factor रहेगा ही, इसको आप हर सेक्टर में डाल सकते हैं. इसमें जो heat waves हैं गर्मियों के टाइम पे, heat waves losses are estimated at 2% of the GDP annually by 2030. So this climate change and the commitment to the Paris Agreement should be पेरिस एग्रीमेंट ऑफ 2015 पे जो कमिटमेंट है इंडिया का टू कीप द एमिशंस बिलो 1.5 डिग्री एट द प्री इंडस्ट्रियल लेवल्स, दीज शुड बी अदर्ड एंड दीज शुड ऑल्सो बी टेकन केयर ऑफ. सो ये सारे फैक्ट्स हैं जो आप इकोनॉमी के सेक्शन में आप लिख सकते हैं. सो दिस इज इट इन दिस वीडियो। अगर वीडियो अच्छी लगी हो तो लाइक करना, चैनल को सब्सक्राइब करना। थैंक यू।